If you know me, then you know that digital minimalism is something that I care very deeply about. It's something that I constantly practice and constantly preach, and it's for a good reason. I can genuinely attest to how much it has changed my life and made me a much more focused and disciplined individual. The only social media I use is this channel and my blog, and because I don't have a bunch of platforms that I'm constantly updating or checking for notifications, it allows me to keep a big chunk of time in my day that other people simply don't have. I'm not spending hours shuffling back and forth between the same apps, searching for fresh crumbs of entertainment and stimulation. When you spend all day glued to your phone or computer, you miss out on so much of the real world, and you can never get that time back. This may not seem like much of a problem to you if the only fun or pleasure you get is from the internet. Say you don't have many or any friends in the real world, you don't have anywhere to really go besides your house and your job or school, and overall, there's just nothing terribly impressive about your life in the real world. I completely understand why spending so much time online would be the option that you run to. However, even though I understand it, that doesn't mean that I agree with it. At the end of the day, you exist in the real world, and your physical life should always take precedence over your digital life. If your real life is unimpressive and unstimulating, then you should be trying to remedy that instead of hiding from it. Finding valuable things to do, learning cool things that interest you, taking up a sport, reading lots of books, drawing, painting, going on hikes, visiting the zoo, making use of all the free events in your city, learning to dance and sing, and whatever else makes life more fun and gives it purpose and meaning. Skateboarding, raiding record stores, buying a cheap camera and taking a million photos with it, studying cinematography and the history of jazz music just because. This is how you stop scrolling and start living. You don't pressure yourself by thinking that whatever interest you choose to pursue must be something that will get you tons of social validation or can be monetized and turned into a career. No, to start living, you can simply do things because they interest you and you feel the enjoyment of throwing yourself into the work it entails. You can't allow yourself to only exist happily when you're online. What happens when you put your phone down before bed? Do you feel satisfied with how you've spent your day? If your power goes out and you have to be without social media for a while, who even are you? Do you enjoy sitting with your thoughts? Are you proud of the life you've built for yourself? Or if you're still quite young, do you think that being on Twitter all day will lead you to having a life you can be proud of in the future? When you have to exist solely in the real world, say for Thanksgiving dinner with your family, do you have much to say about yourself? Anything cool you've done this year or hobbies you're into? Do you dread having to attend gatherings like that because you know that your personal life is pretty lame and you don't want to be asked questions about it? Especially when you know that your cousin is going to say that they read 50 books this year and learned how to build computers. Being confronted with the reality that your personal life is lame is very humbling. There's also the undeniable fact that, excluding educational or work-related reasons, the more time you spend online, the more you're losing the ability to do real, productive things. And again, I don't mean that everything productive has to be for financial gain or even for the sake of being a grind queen. You know, cleaning your room, doing the dishes, taking a shower, dealing with your dirty laundry, helping your kids with their homework, getting the energy and willpower to make a home-cooked meal. These are just basic tasks of life that become exponentially more challenging when you've spent years priming yourself to just be really good at sitting down and doing nothing, putting things off until the last possible minute in favor of 3 more hours of TikTok. So yes, you suffer the consequences of not being able to properly manage your responsibilities, but I want to put the main focus of this video back onto just the ability to have a life that you enjoy and find fulfillment in. Because we all know that if you want to join the 5 a.m. Rise and Grind Club, that you gotta put the phone down. But not everyone even really cares about hyperproductivity. Some people simply just want to have a chill, easygoing life that makes them eager to get out of bed for. But you're squandering that too. Just because you're alive doesn't mean that you're living. I want you to start living and enjoy it and not constantly look to escape your life because it's so boring. I want you to regain the hours you spend on your phone and put it towards writing fanfics that make your heart melt. I want you to spend that time learning all of the choreography to your favorite K-pop songs and following along to makeup tutorials, even though it's 10 p.m. and you're not going anywhere, but you're having a genuinely good time. I also want to clarify that not all time online for entertainment is bad or useless. For example, I just said following makeup tutorials. That would obviously require you to be on YouTube. I'm not demonizing the use of the internet to teach you something or for when it's a required component of your hobby. I just don't want you mindlessly scrolling and being thrust from post to post to post with no target or anything that you're getting from it. Wasted time that could be used for quite literally anything else. If you're chilling after a satisfying study session and you want to unwind with a few minutes of Twitter, I get it. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I just think that if you really want your life to feel more eventful, more enjoyable, less forgettable, with days that just roll right into each other with nothing to differentiate a Tuesday from a Friday, you should be spending that time scrolling on something more meaningful and valuable. How do you expect things to improve otherwise? It will just magically solve itself? You've been addicted to TikTok since COVID, okay? If it was going to solve your problems, it would have happened by now. I need you to choose to live in the real world as much as possible. And the way to make that an enjoyable choice is to make the real world more satisfactory than the digital world. I have way more fun ice skating, doing ballet, riding horses, spending family time with my baby and my husband, going to the movies, going to parties with my friends, and eating at good restaurants than I do mouth breathing with a zombie face after an internet binge. Maybe it's fun for a bit, but surely you're running out of truly amusing posts that keep you engaged and locked in after a while. There's no way you can spend 6 hours on your phone and manage to have hit after hit after hit every single time you open that app, which the last time was about 5 minutes ago. There's just no way. By purposely spending your time doing things that make you want to stop scrolling so you can start living, there's just no comparison. Life can be so good that laying on the couch watching drama videos about people you've never even heard of before you invested an hour to watching that deep dive just doesn't compare.